Hello and welcome everyone to a new episode of Your Friendly Physicist and Other Nerds. I'm Lucas, the host of this podcast, and today I'm in Rijeka, Croatia at the Center for Innovation Initiatives to talk with Professor Saša Zelenika about how to support students in acquiring and developing meaningful skills for their professional careers and how the University of Rijeka can generate knowledge and innovation that actually solves problems in the real world. And spoiler alert, communication and collaboration skills are key for bridging the gap between academia and industry and also for accelerating the innovative power of a university such as the University of Rijeka. Looking very much forward to talking to you, Saša. Thank you for joining and welcome to the show.
Thank you for taking your time and coming to visit us.
Saša, as a first question, can you tell us something about your role and your task here at the University of Rijeka?
Well, I'm currently Vice Rector for Strategic Projects, dealing with various tasks, big projects, which we repute as important, dealing with innovations and our relations with the external stakeholders from the society in the business sector, and following also some other aspects of our activities, open science, careers or research assessments or development of early career researchers. And
can you also tell us a bit more about your background? So how did you actually get to this position as a vice?
I'm a mechanical engineer. I did my bachelor and master here in Rijeka. After that, I did my PhD in Italy at the Polytechnic University of Torino, doing most of the research at the electrosynchrotron radiation facility in Trieste. After that, I worked in industry for a couple of years and then moved to Switzerland to the Paul Scherrer Institute, where I was head of mechanical engineering, first of the Swiss Light Source project, and afterwards of the whole institute with all the big facilities which are there. And then in 2005, then I came back here at the Faculty of Engineering, started as an assistant professor and moving on up to becoming full professor with tenure. In the meantime, I had also a parenthesis in the government of the Republic of Croatia in the Ministry of Science, Education and Sports, where I was first assistant and then deputy minister for science.
Cool. I especially liked the part about the large-scale facilities. So myself working at the large-scale facility, and some colleagues actually will be in Elettra at Trieste in next week to do some small angle X-ray scattering experiments there. So you're a scientist yourself, so you know both sides. You know how it feels like to be a student, early career scientist, but you also know how it is to communicate visions. So what actually is your mission here, your task at the University of Rijeka in your current position?
Well, the mission, as you saw also probably in our strategy of the university, we are trying to be as open as possible and to raise our profile to be really integrated in the European framework. So we have defined ourselves as a European University of the future. We are part of one of these European University Alliances, UFE, Young Universities for the Future of Europe. It's an association of 10 universities trying to harmonize as much as possible in a diverse national settings, but create really a supranational entity which facilitates then both for the staff, but especially for the students, their mobility, their exchange of experiences, slowly building up also common study programs, many policies together and collaborating in several projects. We are also part of YERUN, Young European Research Universities Network, is another, probably the third strongest network of European universities, also there with the same mission, a little more based on really research-intensive activities, again, trying to build together a better system of research assessment, of open science, of influencing on trying to say at least what we feel about the European framework programs, and among all these things, also about knowledge valorization as a concept on how to collaborate with societal and business actors.
This knowledge valorization, actually, I read this quite a lot when opening your web pages.
Yeah.
What does this exactly mean?
Well, it means that extending from the experiences which started with technology transfer, then knowledge transfer, the European universities are trying really to create an impact, to have an impact, societal impact in the broader sense, and this encompasses then also an economic impact or benefit for the regions where they live. So we are all aware that we have several problems or challenges, from the economic ones to climate change to political or democracy crisis and so on. And we are trying to propose some solution, to really propose evidence-based approach to such problems, and to put the knowledge which is present at the university in the service of society. So providing guidance, providing advice, providing strategies or solutions how to tackle at least partly some of these problems.
Is this a relatively new strategy of the University of Rijeka?
It's part of the European Commission policies on how to strengthen the role of University of Science of Knowledge. You see that both in these most recent reports of Letta and Mario Draghi, they are strongly emphasizing that Europe should really turn to their universities, to their knowledge generation institutions, in order to remain competitive, but also address all these challenges.
So what is the hardest part? Bringing knowledge from students or from an academic environment to the economics, to the industry?
Well, there are several. Well, on one hand, researchers are best at doing research, and they would like to concentrate all their time and efforts in these. Yeah. So it's not always easy to emphasize the importance of this so-called third university mission, of the interaction with the environment where they live. But more and more they are aware that this is important, and that both in communicating science, but also in again, generating a real impact is really part of their job, and it's part, and it helps also their research, because again, if they confront themselves with real life problems, a lot of in this interaction, many interesting research topics are also identified. On the other hand, the dynamics or the rhythm of the economic sector is much higher than that in the research sector. So often they do have the resources, but don't have the time to, wait really for a real structured research approach. And so, a lot of communication, a lot of effort is needed to match then these two approaches. Obviously, a lot is being done in research management. So all the universities try to dampen a little these challenges by having really good research managers, which then are, among others, also this interface between the research community and the economic sector.
What you said, it's very important that you have research managers that are guiding students while doing research. Job description as a research manager, do you think this is a new job in academia?
Well, it's not new. There were people doing this, but not in such a structured way. So there are, again, European initiatives trying to bring these people together and to so that they can exchange best practices, but also identify how to improve their skills. Especially challenging is the role. Well, some of these people are working on helping researchers write their projects or set up research collaborations and other things. But especially challenging is the role in knowledge valorization. because this role implies that you do have to understand research. And this is good because several researchers find their career there. They don't necessarily remain in academia as teachers or researchers, but really decide to work as research managers. So again, you have to understand the research, but you have also to understand economy, so know something about finances and other things, and understand the language or the aspects that we're talking about. You would have to understand a lot about intellectual property, so legal aspects, stuff like this. So basically, you would have to be a Superman or a Superwoman. So it's very hard, and therefore you have to slowly build teams which have all these competencies and work together in addressing this interface.
And I can imagine their communication is the biggest asset you can have to be a real leader of these teams and to bring such a big project forward.
Yeah.
What is the feedback of the students?
The students are much more pragmatic than we were maybe in my old days, last century or last millennium. They are really careful or aware that how they spend their time. So they are trying really to optimize the time spent in acquiring certain skills that they will need in their future. That's why they are, maybe sometimes even reluctant to spend 5 years studying, because at the end maybe they don't have really all the skills that they will need in their professional life. So they are more and more working while studying. So already in the study, through internships and other forms, they are acquiring practical skills. But what again we are trying to develop with our partners also in the Youth Alliance, there is a whole drive to develop micro credentials. So small, maximum 1 semester minors, where the students can acquire very specific skills, which often are interdisciplinary, intersectorial. So they don't cover only physics or engineering, but also economic skills or other skills, and allow them to have also practical experiences during their studies. So this is somehow a new trend, something that again we in the academic sector are still catching up with, but which will help certainly students to be much more dynamic as our whole society is today.
Much more interdisciplinary.
Yes.
And in Munich, we also see this trend now. We don't have the physics department, the chemistry department, the engineering department. We have one school of natural sciences, and then you are much more free to choose or combine your courses, which I think is a great way to once again to improve your communication skills, because from personal experience, I know how hard it is to find a common language. I started out as a chemist, now I'm a physicist. I mean, you would think, okay, the switch is not that hard, but sometimes there were quite drastic misunderstandings, which simply came out of a different language. Working with young students, what would be an advice that you would give to a student that started to study right now in these times?
The possibilities that they have are huge. So it's enough to think about Erasmus, all the mobility programs, all these European University Alliances. So very soon our students will have the possibility to study at either of these 10 universities and will be getting a diploma of all the 10 universities. So they will be concurrently masters, a Croatian, Spanish, and Finnish masters in something. So the possibilities that they have are huge with respect to just a few years ago. Just go out and use them. I mean, it's a wonderful world. It has its problems. We as a generation, contributed, if not created, many of them. On you is to try to solve them. We just have to open as widely as possible the doors to you that you have the possibility to do it. obviously there is an inertia, there is, always a tendency to say, yeah, but we old ones know better. And but again, you are the ones that, you are the future. So again, we leave you not, on one hand, again, huge possibilities, but also huge challenges. And it's up to you to, as they say often in media, you are the first generation that is aware of all these problems and the last one which can solve them, which is obviously not an easy task. And again, all that we can do is help you with all the means that we can, and open widely the doors for you.
I agree 100%. The possibilities are huge. Whenever I talk to my students, sometimes I have the impression that the possibilities are a bit overwhelming, because you can only choose one path, and you are always thinking, is it the right one? And do I miss out something? If I wait 2 more weeks, or if I still get this degree, then I could also do this.
Well, you have to have priorities, obviously. You cannot do everything, but also these priorities are not, carved in stone. Mm-hmm. They are also dynamic. So what is important today can be different tomorrow. I mean, we all were aware of the importance of computer science, information technologies, and so on. But a huge new boost has come with the development of artificial intelligence and all the large language models. So obviously, you needed 5 years ago less skilled people in this sector than you will need in 5 years. Some US analysis, and they're quite good in doing the analysis, say that you young people will change 10 to 14 jobs in the first 10 years of your careers. So, a guy which sits in a post office and puts stamps for the whole his working career is history. So it's a dynamic system, but still you have to approach it again, evidence-based and with certain, again, common sense, if you wish.
How flexible is then a research organization that you're?
Well, not flexible enough, but that's one more reason why we really need this interaction with the economic and societal stakeholders. We do this in several ways. One is technologically, so we can develop a specialized digital platform of matchmaking between the academic sector and the external stakeholders, society and business actors, which is now being extended to the whole UFE alliance. So all 10 universities will be using this platform as its innovation platform. On the other hand, we are trying to develop our regional innovation ecosystem through a hub-based model. Hubs are really much more integrated in their environment and much more interactive and intersectorial than were the usual accelerators and technological parks and similar. And the experience showed that they are much better in this spillover effect of the knowledge from the university towards the society. So we have several of these, mostly through European financing. We are home of the EDIH, European Digital Innovation Hub, with big partners, so InfoBip, which is the first Croatian unicorn, so market value above $1 billion. Ericsson Nikola Tesla, part of the huge Ericsson group, and developing or bringing up, raising the digital readiness level in the whole Adriatic Croatia. The other one is Innotomare. It's an excellence hub, which tries again to build up the technologies in the maritime sectors, both in our regional ecosystem in Slovenia and with the help of our colleagues in Antwerp, where this is very much more developed. Another one is the North Adriatic Hydrogen Valley. So again, green technologies, again concentrated on northern Croatia, Slovenia, and northern Italy. So again, by networking, by using these leveraging of the capacities in a broader region, we are trying to improve again the economic, but also the general well-being in our region.
So a lot of tasks, but also a lot of progress.
Yes.
How do you keep up with this?
Again, our profession is such that again we have a task to educate, but also again to open the doors to you. So we are here just to help you to be better than we were.
Sounds also like a great leadership challenge. How do you understand the concept of leadership in this context?
Well, we are trying as the whole university management to, again, and this was also our main motto during last year, we had the 50th anniversary, to be open, so openness. Openness. So really communicate, really interact, cooperative and participatory way of doing. So we have several so-called professional councils for research and innovation, for teaching, for which where the people from our faculties, both teachers and students, are always present, and we try to to interact with them as much as possible and really develop together all our policy strategies and stuff like this. As we were saying, we have also this model of science and development centers. So again, we are bringing together people that have a common interest regardless of the faculty department where they're coming from. For example, our Center for Artificial Intelligence and Cybersecurity has almost 10% of all our researchers working together. Some of them are computer scientists, but others are lawyers. So again, legal aspects of artificial intelligence, some of them are philosophers. And again, you really come up with solutions that nobody in its small field would even think of.
Would you be up for an exchange option between Munich and Rijeka?
Of course. No, we are very much interested in all the collaboration possibilities. So we collaborate with many institutions, especially in Europe, but not only. What is perhaps also interesting is that we are part of the Rectors Forum of Southeast Europe and Western Balkans. These are 33 or so universities from Ljubljana down to Greece. And so we see our role also in helping our Eastern and Southeastern colleagues in raising their capacities and approaching the European Union and helping them with all our experience that we have gained in the accession process to the European Union.
What future trends do you see, and are there some where you really are focusing on?
Well, I mean, as said, through several of these big initiatives, we are working on green technologies. We have a whole concept of green and resilient campus. Also there, we are trying to implement several of these, have a smart solution in lowering the consumption of energy, on using more renewable energies. Increasingly, again, trying to see all the potentials of hydrogen and other green propulsion, for example, again, through this Innotumare in the maritime sector and so on and so forth. We are also working, for example, in energy harvesting. These are solutions where you collect low-level environmental energy to power low-power systems, so Internet of Things and stuff like this. So there are several, again, of these where together with our partners from other institutions, again, not only in Europe, but also on a broader scale, we are trying to do our small part as much as possible. Again, involving as much as possible early career researchers and students.
Thank you so much for the great interview.
Thank you for coming.
It was really a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for being here and trying to mutually learn and mutually improve ourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap on today's episode. If you enjoyed our dive into knowledge and innovation transfer, I would love for you to share it with a fellow science enthusiast or anyone who might find it interesting. And if you're listening on Spotify, a quick rating helps me to reach even more curious minds like yours. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next episode of Your Friendly Physicist and Other Nerds. And until then, stay curious.